I said, see who, Lord? He said, Lucifer. Can you see him? He's right there, right over his shoulder. Look, Jack, look at how beautiful he is. I never made anyone that beautiful. Look at him, Jack. Look, my son. That's my son, Lucifer. I made him. What was the Son of God saying? Lucifer, son, come home. Let's not you and I fight. I'm going to go to the cross and die for them, but let's not you and I fight. Come home. Let you and I reconcile. I miss your song. I miss your voice. I miss your music. I miss your face. No one has a voice like you, Lucifer. Come home. Come home. Take this and show this to the Father, and He'll restore you to where you were. That's what He said. I cried for 3 days. We rebuke, we chastise, we holler, we scream, we cuss, we bind, we loose. What did He do? What did He do? He says, come home. Love your enemies. Now, if that won't set you free, I don't know what will. You think you got enemies? He couldn't stand it. He couldn't stand the discipline. He couldn't stand to be called out. He couldn't stand to admit that he needed something, restoration. And that was it. That was it. See, not everybody can walk into the valley of the shadow of death, being led by the Spirit of God, trusting God. You have to know who He is in you before you'll ever go into a situation like that. Where He leads me, I will follow. Huh? Not your way. Not your way. His way. What happens after that?
You anoint my head with oil, my brimming cup runs over. Surely for only goodness, mercy, and unfailing love shall follow me all the days
Oh,
of my
listen
life.
to this. You get anointed. Your cup, that's the joy that's in you, overflows. And then He assigns you some friends to follow you. Goodness, mercy, righteousness, faithfulness. All those things follow you all the days of your life. You're known. You're known. You're known. You're marked. Read the rest.
Shall follow me all the days of my life. And through the length of the days, the house of the Lord and His presence shall be my dwelling place.
And His presence shall be my dwelling place. How about if I said it like this? Every day of my life, I'll go up to the house of the Lord and eat the bread of His presence and be satisfied. And be satisfied. Turn over to Psalm 127. Man, I did not intend on going here. Of course, I didn't intend on going on Psalm 23 either. Psalm 127. You got it? Go ahead, read it. Go ahead.
Except the Lord builds the house, they labor in vain who build it. Except the Lord keeps the city, the watchman waits, but in vain.
Keep going.
It is vain for you to rise up early, to take rest late, to eat the bread of anxious toil, for he gives blessings to his beloved sleep.
Eat the bread of what?
The bread of anxious toil.
Anxious toil. Then does that sound like Psalm 23? First he has to make you lie down. Then he has to get you still. Then you have to enjoy his rest. Right? Right? He's got to get that bread of anxious toil out of you. God's got to take something from you in order to get something to you. That's the addition of God. Huh? Subtraction is addition to God. No. In your weakness, I'll manifest my strength. Give me your weakness. No. We're so full of the pride of life. I'm not weak. I don't have that problem. I can't tell you the number of times people have come here and I've asked people to pray with them and somebody will say something. No, that ain't me. No. I don't have that problem. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Yes, you do. Isn't it amazing that we're talking about building the house of God, and in that you see the word bread? Huh? Not the bread of his presence, but the bread of anxiousness and toil. Huh? Turn to your neighbor and say, I don't know about you, but I'm changing breads. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Right there. That's what it says. The bread. Right? Abraham has communion with Melchizedek. The devil's standing right there, and after the communion, he says, you take the stuff. All I want is the people. Abraham says, I'm not going to take a latch of his unless you didn't make me rich. They didn't either. He did. So the Lord shows up when Abraham's done something right to bless him. In the presence of his... Oh my God, you mean it was there? Oh! No, that's just my Bible. Does yours say that? It does? At least you reading the wrong Bible, girl. Isn't that what it says? It goes over and over and over and over. The Word verifies the Word. Right? How many of you is getting something? Huh? Yeah. All right, John 6. I knew I'd get there sometime tonight. John 6. All right. Now, I want you to write out there on the top of John 6, Psalm 23. Just write that right across the top. Psalm 23. Okay. We're going to read John 6, but it's really Psalm 23. Right? All right. NLT? Anybody?
Pull it up. What verse do you want?
No, that's all right. All right, let me read this. After this, Jesus crossed over the far side of the Sea of Galilee, also known as the Sea of Tiberias. A huge crowd kept following him wherever he went because they saw his miraculous signs as he healed the sick. I don't want to stop there. Then Jesus climbed the hill and sat down with his disciples around him. It was nearly time for the Jewish Passover celebration. And Jesus soon saw a huge crowd of people coming to look for him. Turning to Philip, he said, "Where can we buy bread to feed all these people?" He was testing Philip, for he already knew what he was going to do. Now, how many times have you heard me say in here, God works with me on the problem? How long? Is that what this says? Is that what this says? Yeah, this is not hypothetical. This is not a jackism. Right? This is altruism. The truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Right? He knew what he was going to do. You know? When Jesus asked you a question, when you go into the holy place and you are in the presence of God and you're eating the bread of his presence and he starts questioning you, you need to sit up straight. That's right. Pay attention. It ain't a time for you to be running your mouth, sending a text, talking on the telephone, preparing breakfast, washing your face. None of that stuff. Brushing your teeth. None of that. You're paying attention. Why? Because he's trying to get you an answer. You don't need to rehearse the problem in his ear. What? Well, you know, I've been taught that I need to run boldly into his presence and tell him about the problem I have. Well, let me ask you a question. Is he God or is he not? He's what? He's God. You sure? Yeah. Who sits at his right hand? And what's he doing? For who? For what? Well, then why do you have to tell him what Jesus has already told him? Turn to your neighbor and go, "Are you duh? Are you duh?" Do you know how ridiculous we look? Lord, I come boldly into the throne of grace to declare and decree. What? What are you going to declare and decree that Jesus hasn't already said? And if he ain't said it, then he don't need you to say it. I didn't hear anything. I thought I hear at least one amen. Huh? Oh, it's crying time again. You're gonna miss me. I can see that faraway look in your eye. I can tell by the way you hug me, darling. Yeah, that it's time to say goodbye. Because you haven't presented yourself right. There is a prescribed way to present yourself before the Lord. Romans 12:1. It says every day. Daily. Right? And you do it through worship. Right? Right? Worship. And why worship? Because worship puts you in the right attitude.